Ain't nothing quite like it than pulling up in a vehicle that appears to be owned by just a normal civilian, just trying to get from point A to point B. But in reality, it ain't no normal grocery getter. It's a gap machine. And the Pontiac GXP is a prime example of that. From the outside, it literally screams grocery getter. But under the hood is a 6.2 liter V8. The LS3 to be specific, from the C6 Corvette, which if you don't know about the LS3s, they're pretty much notorious for being the best LS engine to build. Like, you could make 1,000 horsepower on these engines reliably. You could probably get one nowadays for around $25,000 to $30,000. If you're looking for something a little bit more classy and newer, I would highly recommend the W25 C43 AMG.
And more powers, you can do stuff like this.
I've owned this car for around 6 months now, and let me tell you, it's a great car to drive. Featuring a twin-turbo 3-liter V6 making 390 horsepower, paired with an all-wheel drivetrain in either a 7-speed or 9-speed automatic. My Pacific one had the 9-speed automatic. Plus, you could probably find a pre-facelift of these for around like $20,000, maybe even less, and a facelift for around $30,000 to $40,000. The Cadillac CT6 V, an American vehicle, is still a very good sleeper because this literally has the CTV Blackwing engine, the 4.2 liter V8 making 500 horsepower, but in what appears to be just a normal Cadillac sedan. Like, most people will see this and think like, oh, most it has is like a slow V8 or a V6, and there is a V6 option for this. The Chevy SS is another family sedan that you look at on the outside, it literally looks like, hey, let's go get some groceries and maybe pick up the kids from school. But it has an LS3, just like the Pontiac GXP, 415 horsepower, unlimited tuning potential. Essentially, reliability is not going to be a problem. This one sprints 0 to 60 in 4.7 seconds, and you could probably find one for around $35,000. So it's similar to the Pontiac in terms of price range. Now, the next one is a very weird one that you probably won't guess, but I'll give you a second to comment what it is. It's not an American muscle. It's not, actually it is a German. It's a Volkswagen. The Passat, I don't know how you say, Passat W8 literally has half of a Bugatti engine. Bugatti's owned by Volkswagen. The Bugatti has a W16 engine, at least some of them do. And what can be mistaken for a Volkswagen Jetta literally has a W18. Now, this is an older car that was released in like the early 2000s, so even though it has 8 cylinders, it's still only a 4-liter, and it makes 270 horsepower, which is definitely, you know, underpowered for an 8-liter. And the 0 to 60 is only 6.4 seconds. You could snag one for around $10,000, and it is a pretty rare vehicle because only 11,000 units were ever made. The Lexus IS F is a great JDM performance V8. Yes, you heard me correct. A JDM V8. This 5-liter V8 luxury sedan makes 416 horsepower stock. It's rear-wheel drive, comes with an 8-speed automatic, can sprint to 0 to 60 in only 4.6 seconds. You could probably find one for a pretty reasonable price, like around $25,000 to $35,000. Regardless, if you get the Lexus or the Chevy SS or whatever you get, just please make sure you don't recreate anything I talked about in this video on screen, because if you do, you're a horrible driver.